Hello and welcome to the Mind Detox podcast. I'm your host, Sandy Newbigging. For today's episode, I'm sharing an extract from a recent masterclass that I hosted called Body Wisdom. I introduced you to why you want to be able to tap into your body wisdom and the mindset you need in order to do so. I also share a number of scientific research studies that have helped to prove the existence of the mind-body connection. And why do I do that? Because it's really important for you to really recognize that my mind is impacting my body and vice versa. When you really understand the interconnected relationship and the oneness, the unified nature of the mind-body connection, it helps you to increase your expectation of healing and change when you change your mind. So this can be a really powerful episode for you, and I hope you enjoy it. If you want to access the full masterclass, along with the very informative presentation slides and a bonus exclusive interview with mind-body connection expert Dr. David Hamilton, then head over to my website, minddetox.com/masterclasses. So today I'm going to introduce you to the mind-body connection and how to decode the body, to understand the body, to recognize what it's saying and why it's doing what it's doing. For diagnosis, in other words, to be able to understand why this is happening. Obviously for healing, for empowerment, which I'll get into in a bit, and for living your best life. That's really the intent behind today's masterclass. And before getting into lots of other stuff, I always like to start with a definition because I'm already throwing around this term mind-body connection. So what is it? What is the official definition? Well, here it is. The mind-body connection, a reciprocal relationship between mental and physical states, is supported by a growing body of scientific evidence. This connection manifests in how thoughts, emotions, and behaviors impact physical health, and conversely, how physical conditions influence mental well-being. What's important to recognize with the mind-body connection, it's a two-way street. It's mind-body, it's body-mind. Modern research in neuroscience, psychology, and psychoneuroimmunology, which I'm all drawing upon today, has illuminated tangible links between our thoughts, emotions, and bodily functions. And I think that's a conservative way of putting it, tangible links. I'm going to go further than that today when I go into my own explanations and discoveries of the mind-body connection. But that's really what we're talking about. The reciprocal relationship between mental and physical states. And why I wanted to put this on the screen right at the beginning is that it says there's a growing body of scientific evidence. There's a lot of scientific evidence. I would go as far as to say the mind-body connection is the most researched medical phenomenon. And why would I say that? Well, because every single pharmaceutical drug that has ever been created has been tested against the placebo effect. So it is equal to this mind-body connection has been researched as much as any other pharmaceutical drug. Does that make sense? Put it in that context, that's quite incredible. It's quite incredible. And do you think the pharmaceutical companies would test against the placebo if it didn't exist? Do you think they'd bother with that? Do you think they would invest all that money? I don't think they would. It is absolutely real, and it has been proven in every single research study, especially when testing new drugs, for example. Fascinating, eh? So why do you want to know this? And this is part of my things you need to know masterclass series. So why do I think you need to know this? Well, first and foremost, healing. If you happen to have a chronic physical issue, As far as I'm concerned, it makes complete sense to try to learn, know, and do anything and everything you possibly can to aid your own healing and to aim for optimal health. So, at the heart of this, why you need to know this? It can increase the opportunities for healing. Number 2, diagnosis. Most conventional approaches to health focus on treating symptoms. Have you noticed that? And what they tend to do is they only tend to give labels for conditions. It might sound like we're getting a diagnosis because it's called that, but most diagnoses basically are just a name for a collection of symptoms. Okay? So when a doctor goes to doctor school, they go, this collection of symptoms is called this collection of symptoms is called this. And it's very easy to think at that point, oh, I've found out why I have this health problem. But you haven't found out why you have the health problem. If you get a diagnosis, all you've really got is a label, a name for the collection of symptoms that you have. I remember years ago, my mum said, oh, Sandy, I'm so relieved. I finally know why I've got sore hands. It's because I've got arthritis. I'm like, it's because you got arthritis? No, that's just a name. Why are your fingers doing that? That's when you're getting much more into the real diagnosis and you're starting to explore causes, okay? But so what if for you, anytime any physical symptoms occur, whether it's just a headache or a little rash somewhere or a pain somewhere or whatever, you can know why. What if you can figure out what the mind-body connection cause might be? Would that be of interest to you? Would that be of value to you? Not just to be dealing with symptoms and labels all the time, but actually being able to go in and understand, why is this happening in my body? Accessing your body wisdom is the way. Okay? Accessing your body wisdom is the way. Number 3, why do you need to know this? Empowerment. If there are no mind-body connection causes to health issues, then we end up in a rather disempowered dilemma. Because the reasons we are given usually end up being things like age, bad luck, wear and tear, catching the condition, or sometimes it might be because it runs in the family. Do you recognize any of these guys? Have you even considered them yourself, thinking, oh, this is happening because I'm aging? Or this is happening because I've got wear and tear? Wear and tear. We're not like a car engine. In fact, our body is designed to become stronger and more resilient the more we use it. It doesn't just wear out. So this whole idea of repetitive strain injuries, I don't buy it. Anytime I've worked with someone with a repetitive strain injury, when we get into the nuts and bolts of it, they've usually had a conflict with what they've been doing repeatedly. They've had a conflict doing what they've been doing repeatedly. And it's that inner conflict, that resistance, reluctance, having to do stuff we don't want to do, for example, repeatedly, is why it can end up with appearing as wear and tear. Is that clear? So we want to kind of go beyond these usual reasons. And these usual reasons come to us because there is a belief there's no mind-body connection. These reasons of age, wear and tear, bad luck, they disempower us and they limit our capacity to self-heal, to do something about it. It's just kind of happening to me, and I have to therefore go outside and find someone to fix me like a mechanic fixing a car. If we believe there are only physical causes to physical conditions, then we usually need to rely solely on physical things to fix ourselves. Like diets, drugs, pills and potions, or even operations. And as you know, these things can come with their own side effects and inconveniences. Okay? Is that clear? If there's only physical causes for physical conditions, then we have to rely on a physical solution, like a physical diet or drug or whatever. But if we're open to the cause stemming from something in our mind, which can be changed, and that's the key, that's that I underlined it in the presentation. If we're open to the cause stemming from something in our mind, which can be changed, because our mind can be changed, we're changing our mind all the time, then we can most definitely do something about it. Okay? So being able to diagnose and resolve the possible mind-body connection causes, by being able to do that, you increase your options and choices, and therefore empowerment. Empowerment is choice, greater choice. The less choices we have, the more disempowered we are, the more choices and options we have, the more empowerment naturally. So empowerment is a massive thing that you gain from being able to tap into your body wisdom. A really cool reason for knowing all this stuff is prevention. When you know the most common mind-based cause of health problems, you can recognize them in yourself anytime they're happening in your mind or life. Think about it. If you actually know that, for example, if you're feeling unsupported and you recognize, oh, I've been feeling unsupported. If you can recognize it and resolve it before it becomes lower back pain or knee pain, for example, that's really cool. Or if you notice that you've been feeling unsafe in your environment, you can maybe avoid allergies or certain skin conditions. Because unsafety in your environment often leads to allergies or skin conditions and other things. You could even reduce the likelihood of developing something like chronic fatigue if you realize, you believe that you recognize, oh, you know what, I'm in a situation here where I don't feel I can fight this person or thing. I don't feel I can get away from it for whatever reasons. Well, anytime that our body is chronically stuck in, I can't fight this and I can't get away from it, it will often revert to freeze, hide, fatigue. Okay? I'm getting ahead of myself, just chucking a couple examples in here to get your brain working in the body wisdom way. But essentially, by recognizing these sorts of things, because you are aware of the most common mind-based causes of things, by recognizing them before they become physical, because as I'll say later, we've had the warning signs for a while. The body has been knocking on the door quietly, and eventually brings a sledgehammer in the form of a health problem. But we've had the warning signs. By recognizing it before it becomes physical, it is potentially possible to prevent the onset of health problems. Wow. How does that sound, guys? Had you thought of that option before today? I think it's a pretty cool reason to want to know this sort of stuff. It's certainly helped me. I can see things live as I'm going through stuff. And I believe, personally, it's hard to prove it, but I believe I may have avoided a few health issues along the way because I was able to recognize myself in a situation, having an inner experience that I know and I've seen in others often becomes a physical problem, and I've managed to resolve it before it's had to get to that point. And so I really do believe prevention is a massive benefit of this. Number 5, why know this? Save money and other types of costs. You know, depending on where you live, ill health can be costly. Have you ever seen the size of a hospital bill for even minor procedures in the USA? Have you ever seen that? But even if you're on supposedly free healthcare, if you're in a country that has free healthcare, being sick isn't free. It costs us time. It costs us trips to the doctors. That's effort involved, energy used. It can limit our ability to be at work, make money, be engaging in relationships, hobbies, etc. And ultimately, it can reduce our life enjoyment. If you have a chronic health condition, then you might know this. You know, it has an impact on the quality of our life. So there's a cost there. And if you can know this sort of stuff and it works for you in that particular situation you might be going through, then you can actually save money, time and other costs as well. Why know this? You can be guided by your body wisdom, and it's incredible. The body is giving us real-time feedback and what's in and out of balance within ourselves. If certain elements of our mindset are working for us, and if you need to make any particular changes to the way you're being in life or changes to your life in general. So by learning how to listen to your body, we can gain great guidance and tap into a deep, deep wisdom that can help guide us through this lifetime. So it's really, really cool. So is it all right with you guys if I spend a little bit more time on theory before getting into the diagnosis stuff? Is that okay? Can you let me know? Are you happy to have a little bit more theory before we get into the practical application of this? I think it's really important to have the context, because I realize that there's certain beliefs that I have, or an overall mindset that I have, which I'm engaging with myself and other people when I'm helping them heal using their mind-body connection stuff, that I kind of take for granted. But when I step back from it going, what would somebody need to know in order to actually apply this stuff? If they're just off the street, if they've never come across this before, what do they need to know? Well, these are the main things that I think you must know in order to really have this kind of body wisdom mindset that I'm talking about today. The first thing you need to know is that is what I call survival instincts. The primal instinct and objective of the body is to maintain life. Just sit with that for a moment. Your body, whatever it's been doing, just recognize that its primal instinct and objective is to maintain life. And in order to do that, the body is designed to adapt to survive. The body is designed to adapt to survive. In other words, and this is in bold for a reason on the screen, your body is not against you. I appreciate, depending on what's going on, it might feel that way at times, but your body is not against you. And it is such a healthy, helpful principle to live with, to recognize my body is trying to help me right now. By taking on board that very simple premise, my body is adapting to survive, it's designed to maintain life, and it's currently trying to help me, it shifts our mindset to the point where we have asked different questions and we come from a different energy. We have a different dynamic with the body and we come from a different place. Why might my body need to adapt in this way? Is an obvious question that comes as a result of this recognition. My body's not against me. Why might my body need to be adapting this way? You see, number two, the body isn't broken or malfunctioning. There is a good reason why the body creates health conditions, or in other words, is a good reason why the body is doing what it's doing right now. What might that be? That's an interesting question. You know, although stress is often blamed, stress is a symptom too. So we're always looking to uncover and resolve the root cause reason, the good reason for why this is happening, not to me, but for me. Okay, why is this happening for me? It's very different. Just taking on these two initial mindsets can immediately start to shift your reality, shift your relationship with your body, help you to befriend your body, have a different understanding and relationship with your body, and ask better questions, or at least ask different questions. Ask different questions. Continuing with the body wisdom mindset, heal thyself with help. The conventional medical mindset is heal me. So I have this issue and I go to someone in a white coat or someone with a few initials behind their name or someone who's done a course and heal me, fix me. Whereas the body wisdom mindset is more of heal thyself. heal thyself. It's a different direction. You see that? One is you fix me, or, heal me. Heal myself is more embodied. It's a different direction. And it's not just heal my body. It's heal on all levels. It's heal on all levels. Mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, and also life circumstantially. That's what we're really talking about. Nothing is existing in isolation. Health conditions do not exist in a vacuum. So we're not ever trying to just fix the body. It's not heal my body. It's heal thyself. It's more general than that. Do you feel the difference, guys? Do you feel the difference in that? If we believe there's only physical conditions, causes for physical conditions, and health conditions exist within a vacuum, then we're only going to work with a very narrow view. But if I have a health issue occurring, or someone that I'm working with has a health issue, I'm inviting them to get more holistic, get broader with not just heal my body, but heal thyself. Heal on all levels. Heal on whatever level and whatever thing is required to aid the adaptation of the body back to this thing we call health. Back to the thing we call health. So the body's adapted. We call it sick or ill health, disease. And we're looking to heal, change, find harmony, find peace, find wholeness again in some aspect of ourselves so that the body can adapt again. And we call that healing and optimal health. Okay? So healing isn't so much about brokenness. We want to try and transcend that old idea of malfunctioning and brokenness. It's more about restoring wholeness and harmony where there's been fraction, division, separation, conflict, where there's been a lack of peace and wholeness. So we take responsibility for our physical functioning, for what our body's doing, without blaming or shaming ourselves. And we are also open to help along the way, because we don't necessarily have to heal alone. And in fact, it's been said that we don't heal in isolation, we heal in community. So we want to kind of aim in the journey of healing thyself. We don't have to be an expert in it ourselves. We can draw upon experts and other people that know about different aspects of ourself more than we might do. I know that, in other words, they know more about mental health, emotional health, spiritual health, etc., etc. So heal thyself with help. Do you like that? Is that helpful to just start to take on board? It's really massive. I've seen it so many times. When people have a health problem, it's heal my body and not heal thyself. You got to get into the heal thyself, the healing on all levels. It's not like a lot of work to do. It's more exciting than that. It's more enriching than that. It's more enlightening than that. It can be wonderful. Number 4, we really need to be open to change. It's harder, and I would say sometimes darn right impossible to heal if we're trying to stay the same. Think about that for a second. It's hard to heal if we're trying to stay the same, if we're trying to maintain the status quo. If we're on a healing journey, we need to be willing to change our mind, in other words, thinking patterns, our perceptions, our beliefs, our attitudes. We need to be willing to look into our habits and see which ones are working for us or not. And we also need to be looking into our life circumstances and see what's working and what's not. We need to be willing to forgive, to learn, to let go, to move on, and most importantly, be different. You know, there's been times when I've been working with clients and it's got to a point where I've had to, with absolute love, and we've got trust at that point, I've had to kind of say, look, you can't expect to get to the other side of this healing journey with a healed body whilst trying to keep everything else the same. You've got to be willing to be different at the end of this journey. That's actually can be a very exciting prospect, by the way, but it's really important just to kind of take that message on. It's so epically huge. Have I been trying to heal my body but stay the same? You want to feel different by the end of this journey. Be perceiving things differently. Have different beliefs. Have different attitudes. Have a different relationship with life. You want to have a different energy, have a different vibration by the end of this thing. So much so that the health problem, it's impossible for it to exist within this new version of yourself. It's impossible for it to exist in this new version of yourself. So how do you gauge your progress towards healing? Well, how different are you from when you first got this health problem? Are your perceptions still the same? Are you still seeing the world and other people through the same lens? Have your beliefs all the same? Are you generally feeling the same? Or are you different? And when you get to that different bit, the body tends to reflect that. We call it healing, but it's just adaptation, and it's just aligning with the level of consciousness that you are now. Is that clear? Do you like that, guys? Helpful? Do you see why I needed to cover the mindset first? It's so fundamental. It's things I take for granted, but I find it really, really helpful. Number 5, persistence pays. We want to commit to persist until we succeed. The healing journey can take time, and it can require us to dig deep. It can be challenging, it can be uncomfortable at times, and also fascinating, fun, and enlightening. But you need to be willing to keep going, even and especially if at times you may want to quit. Your mind might come in and say, this is never going to change, this is impossible, I'm never going to get there, That is a core moment where you need to see your mind, not be governed by it, not be controlled by it. Have we talk to yourself and go, no, I'm not believing that. I'm going for it. I have an expectation of healing here, and that's where I'm moving, and I'm going to keep going. I'm going to persist until I succeed. There's no back doors, get out clauses, if buts or maybes in that statement. I am committing until I succeed. Full stop. Full stop. Number 6, harmony heals. Really important to recognize that health reflects our relationship with ourselves and with life. Okay? So more harmony usually leads to less stress, conflict, dis-ease within ourselves and with life. So I would suggest that health is the natural byproduct of holistic harmony, where we've found a peace, or at least increased peace, within our mind, body, soul, and life circumstances. If we're in conflict within ourselves, if we're in conflict with our thoughts and our mind and with our emotions, if we're in conflict with our body, if we're in conflict with our world and our life circumstances, and we're constantly judging the hell out of it, resisting it, complaining about it, disappointed, frustrated, I don't know if I've said that yet. If we're in that place, just feel that. I just want to kind of get it out of me. I look for harmony within my heart, mind, body, soul, circumstances. That is a great goal to aim for. It creates a clear context and a clear place to move towards, and it helps you to have clear feedback along the way, because if you have the intent for harmony and peace with, you're going to more quickly, readily see when you're in conflict, when you're in resistance, when you're in dis-ease. Okay? So it's really important to recognize that that's one of the goals that you might want to aim for. And finally, when it comes to the body wisdom mindset, you need to know your mind is impacting your body. You need to know that your mind is. Not from a concept, but from your own living experience. From your own living experience. You need to recognize that the mind and body are one. And your mind is impacting your body. The mind and body are one. So
let's get a bit sciencey for a bit. Let's get a bit into some of the research studies that have been done over the years that prove the mind is impacting the body. And not only impacting the body, but I would say your mind is in the body. Your mind is in your body. And your mind is your body. And your body is your mind. Okay, so let's go on a journey to get to that recognition ourselves, okay? For example, your unconscious mind is linked with your autonomic nervous system. Your autonomic nervous system. And some of you may have heard me talk about this quite a lot over the last few years. Your autonomic nervous system regulates your heartbeat, blood pressure, digestion, metabolism, along with many other automatic bodily functions. So obvious automatic mind-body connection responses include getting a red face when embarrassed, your mouth watering when you think of certain foods, and experiencing butterflies in your stomach when feeling nervous or excited. Has anyone here ever had any of these things occur? Have you ever had a red face when embarrassed about something? Has your mouth ever watered when you thought about a certain food? Have you ever experienced butterflies in your stomach when feeling nervous or excited? Is anyone here? Probably all three. Can we have a 3 in the chat box if you recognize and agree that I've had all of these 3 simple examples? So by having these 3 simple, obvious examples, you've all directly experienced the mind-body connection. That is the mind-body connection in action. Your embarrassed face caused by certain thoughts, usually embarrassed thoughts, requires the blood vessels just below the skin to widen and fill with more blood. Think about that. You have a thought like, oh my God, I can't believe I just said that, or what might they think of me, or whatever. And that causes a physical reaction of blood vessels just below your skin to widen and fill with blood, the redirection of blood. Wow. We take it for granted. But something is happening, some physical change is happening as a result of a thought. Butterflies in the stomach are caused by the fight-flight response. When stressed, anxious, or excited, your body releases adrenaline, which diverts blood away from your digestive system to the muscles so that you can fight or run from the perceived threat. The perceived threat. These changes in blood flow and the contraction of stomach muscles are caused by mental activity. Isn't that incredible? It's incredible. Just by having a certain thought, which then generates a feeling, obviously it creates a different autonomic response in the body. You literally enter a fight or flight response. Blood is diverted away from the digestive system because, look, I don't need to digest this, so I'm going to be dead in a couple of minutes. So I'm going to direct this blood, this energy to my muscles so that I can fight or flight from the perceived threat. And it's a perceived threat. It doesn't even have to be a real threat. It's a perceived threat. It's a mentally perceived threat. If you didn't perceive it as a threat, this reaction wouldn't happen. Isn't that amazing? It wouldn't happen if you perceived it as not a threat. Our conditioning, our beliefs, our perceptions are determining whether something's a threat or not. Sometimes it's just a threat whether you believe it is or not. But I'm saying it's a perceived threat. Amazing. So I'm getting a bit excited about this. Is that okay? Don't worry if I get too excited about this. I love this stuff. That's why I research it. A 2011 study found that our mouth salivates less if we don't like the food that we're thinking about. What? Whereas thinking about particularly delicious foods activate the salivary reflex, prompting the medulla oblongata in the brainstem to send signals to the salivary glands to produce more saliva. Sorry, my tongue is not getting around these words. I apologize. Think about that for a second. Wow. It's not just that our mouth waters when we think about food that we like. It also waters less if we think about foods that we don't like. But how do you know if you like something or not? It's usually a belief as well, right? Sometimes you don't like something, but we've developed beliefs about I like seafood, I don't like seafood, I like this, I don't like that. Yes, I'm not talking about allergies here and allergic reactions and things that we're allergic to. I'm talking about foods we just don't like. We go to the restaurant, we completely scan past the fish section or the seafood section or the pork section, I don't know. It's a belief largely determining whether you like something or not. It's the mind determining whether our body produces more saliva or not. The medulla oblongata in the brainstem sending a signal to the glands in our mouth to produce saliva. 99% water, 1% proteins, but there's hundreds of proteins in that bit of 1%. It's incredible what saliva is as well. Anyway, let's go even further. If you're feeling grateful, if you're having grateful thoughts and you're feeling grateful, then you almost double the efficiency of certain aspects of your immune system. 5 minutes of grateful thoughts has been found to double the saliva immunoglobulin A in the mouth, which is a part of your immune system. Isn't that amazing? 5 minutes of genuine gratitude shifts the immune system. Heal more quickly due to higher oxygenation of the tissue. So gratitude leads to higher oxygenation of the tissues and positively impacts the coherence of the heart rhythms, which can have a positive knock-on effect to many of the other essential organs too. So the heart is very much like a tuning fork, that how that's behaving, if that's coherent, then it reverberates and it helps the vibrational frequency of the other organs in our body too. If you're feeling jealous, then your body ends up suffering from increased blood pressure, heart rate, and adrenaline levels, and a weakened immunity based upon studies. If you're feeling love, then you increase the levels of nerve growth factor, according to the University of Pavia in Italy. Enhanced nerve growth helps restore the nervous system and improves memory. And that's why I always say, love like your life depends on it, because it does. Love has also been linked with lowering stress, releasing dopamine and oxytocin, boosting the immune system, and these are all different studies, improving sleep, relieving pain, and also increasing pain tolerance. Love has been found to contribute to a stronger, healthier heart. Love has been found to lead to a faster recovery from illnesses and even living longer. If you're feeling love on a consistent basis. These are mental and emotional phenomenon or experiences that are having very physical impacts, reactions, consequences in the body. If you're chronically stressed out, then a heartful concoction of stress hormones, including adrenaline and I learned this word earlier, or tried to pronounce it earlier, norepinephrine. Yeah, anyway, that hormone. Adrenaline and that hormone ends up circulating through the body. Over time, stress hormones like these have been found to compromise the immune system, weaken organs, cause the body to turn off long-term building and repair projects, speed up the aging process, and make the body more prone to developing chronic illnesses. Are you getting the point? Are you getting the point? The list goes on and on, with evidence of the mind being found to exist even in the cells of the body. Because when we're feeling anything, neuropeptides, affectionately known as molecules of emotion by Candace Pert, modify our brain chemistry. So our thoughts and emotions modify our brain chemistry. These neuropeptides, these molecules of emotion, are also released into our vascular system, which is the arteries and veins transporting the blood throughout the body, which in turn affect the functioning of the entire body by communicating with and causing chemical changes within the individual cells. What? So these molecules of emotion, whenever we're having thoughts and feelings, especially the feelings, which is the result of the thoughts, they modify our brain chemistry and and these neuropeptides are released into the vascular system. Now, fun fact, the human vascular system is incredibly extensive, with the blood vessels of the average adult totaling around 60,000 miles, which is 97,000 kilometers in length. I really want you to put this stat up there so you really get start to get an idea of everywhere the vascular system is, the vast nature of the vascular system within the body. In other words, everywhere these neuropeptides are. If all the vessels were laid end to end, they would be long enough to circle the earth more than twice in your body. In your body. So with that in mind, let me repeat again. The molecules of emotion are released into the vascular system, which in turn affects the functioning of the entire body by communicating with and causing chemical changes within the individual cells. Now, there's very few places in your body where you cut yourself when you wouldn't bleed. There's very few places in your body that you don't find neuropeptides, these mind messengers. The body is riddled with the chemical messengers of your thoughts. So much so that it is scientifically accurate to say the mind is everywhere in the body. The mind is everywhere in the body. Am I conveying this mindset, guys? Am I conveying this? Are you starting to feel it? The mind is everywhere in my body. I don't want it can't be a concept. I don't want it to be a concept. I want you to leave here with a visceral experience that my mind is in my body. If I'm sad, my big toe is sad. If I'm feeling stuck, my hips are feeling stuck. If I'm feeling unsupported, my spine is feeling unsupported. If I'm feeling under threat, my knees are feeling under threat. If I'm chronically feeling unsupported, the lower spine is chronically feeling it and starts to become that physically. Weaker, unsupported, pain. If my knees are consistently feeling unsupported or under threat, why am I saying under threat? Well, because if a threat jumped out from around the corner, what would activate in your body? Your knees. So one of the mind-body connection causes of problems with the knees is not just support, it's threat. And if we're chronically living like that, we can end up with knee problems, knee pains, etc. If I'm feeling stuck, unable to move forward, when my hips are used to move me forward, if I'm feeling restricted, no longer free to do what I want, my hips are feeling that way. Eventually, it's going to become a physical manifestation of pain or some sort of stuckness, wear and tear in degrading of the hip joints and ligaments and everything. Because whatever I'm feeling consistently is changing the chemistry of and structure of our cells. Literally the structure of the cells. If we're flooding a cell with a certain molecule of emotion, the little receptor sites, like docking ports on the surface of that cell, is going to evolve and create more receptor sites for that particular emotion, that particular feeling. Where literally the cells are changing over time based on what is constantly the message is being sent to it. But we can change the cell. We can change it at a cellular level by changing our mind, our feelings, by tapping into our body wisdom and living by it. So do you feel it yet? The mind is everywhere in the body. If you're sad, your big toe is sad. If you're happy, your little toe is happy. If you're grateful, your heart is grateful. Your liver is grateful. Your head is not floating 3 inches above your body. It's not separate. So what we're talking about here is a body mind. It's a body mind. The mind and body are not just connected, the mind and body are one. I said this a few minutes ago, but hopefully it lands more now. There's absolutely no separation. The mind and body, they are one entity in different forms and densities, ranging from non-physical thought to physical matter. The body is a physical, more energetically dense form of the mind, form of consciousness. Sit with that. The body and mind are one. They're just different forms and densities, but they're one. The physical body is just physically, energetically more dense form of mind, consciousness. Whatever's going on in your mind is happening in your body and vice versa. So the body is the mind and the mind is the body. Okay, does that make sense, that statement now? More and more. The body is the mind and the mind is the body. Same. Body, mind, body. No hyphen, one word. Body, mind. Knowing this gives you a new, empowered and unified relationship with your body. It also aids healing as you expect physical changes when you change your mind. By taking on board this mindset that I've tried to transmit with you, and I hope you're feeling, when you really get this, it aids your healing because you expect physical changes when you change your mind. Not just hope for, you know. I change my mind, I change my body, I change my body, I change my mind. Okay? You expect physical changes. It's like inevitable, and that activates the placebo effect. That activates the body's ability to adapt, to change, to transform.
Thanks for joining me for today's episode. Please like, subscribe, and write a review wherever you happen to be listening. It really does help to support me and this podcast. For more information about my one-to-one sessions, Calm Clan community, books, and academy courses, head over now to minddetox.com.